TNC and EG pushing us to our final game of the night. Who will be able to get that ticket into the winner's bracket final and take us through into the main event? Kyle, how do you feel about it, man? I'm seeing an Alchemist 5th pickup. We were wondering if it would be a Dro instead of this Razor. TNC went for tanky sustain. Is this what they need in order to actually battle against what was going to be an Alchemist in the jungle?
If it was Drow, I'd say yeah, but because it's Razor, I gotta favor EG pretty heavily here.
You're saying like Dro because like should just push down the lanes, right? Like you add that earlier pressure.
Yes, it like increases the power level of the entire lineup, but more importantly, it's like it's not an item or cooldown or long cooldown dependent hero. And if you look at the team fight and just the whole lineup of TNC, without Golem and Deuce ult, there really isn't any team fight.
Yeah.
And with no lasso, there isn't that much pickoff potential. There isn't really much disable at all. The Nyx, of course, will assist with that, but look at the amount of peel on EG. You know, they have an Abaddon, and it's playing into a Batrider. It's the perfect hero against Warlock. You can remove the lasso as well. And you have 4 different heroes that have methods of sustain, not to mention the crit Shadow Shaman, so tons of push potential and the lockdown you'd need. It's a tough game for TNC to take, and I think EG have that tempo advantage, which has seemed like what TNC needs to win games.
It's like the unbeatable tempo as well. Like Alchemist can farm up heavy if you can't invade into the jungle, but because the changes with Aghanim Scepter as well, like even if this goes late game, it's not hitting a point. It's like, you know what, this money's not doing anything anymore, and every time you pass it over, you get something yourself with the bonus damage. We haven't seen an Alchemist reach that point during this competition, but it's a nice thing for EG to understand that their tempos can slow down and things will still go their way. But keep in mind Fatal Bonds. Fatal Bonds is a very punishing thing.
Never forget it.
Working with Mystic Snake, working with any kind of setup, Plasma Fields.
The problem is, Toby, that Abaddon can remove it, Jug can spin it off, Alka's a natural Manta builder, and yeah, sure, Doom can't get rid of it, but if you're not bonded to any other heroes, what do you care if you've got it still on you? And it's also a natural BKB buyer, so the Warlock bonds aren't exactly the ultimate you're hoping for. When that spell is nullified, Warlock in general just feels very underwhelming, very low damage, and when you have a hero like Nyx as your 4, it means both your supports are lacking.
EG are actually competing for 3 runes at this point. RTZ will spin to ensure the top one fly. Taking a lot of damage. Tims doesn't really have enough to follow up. The Skin Napalm slowed him down. Now Arteezy without spin. Also, not too concerned. He'll back up to the lane. And Cuckoo can keep some harassment kicking in, but it's only going to be one of the first 4 bounty runes going the way of TNC. And already the TPs are changing up. We've got AU coming to the bottom lane. Warlock and Razor to be the dual safe against the dual off of EG, S4 and Crit working together.
Yeah, it should be a relatively even lane. I will say, though, Razor against Doom in a 2v2 is very different from it in a 1 versus 1. Especially when you're against a roster who does hit very hard. But yeah, if you get the full drain off thanks to S4, you don't really have any issues zoning.
It's kind of hilarious watching Fly try and stop this creep pull, or at least delay it. Cuckoo had to drag it around to the cliff to now bring it down.
Yeah, mid is the key matchup I want to zone in on here. We've got Alchemist versus Dusa, Sumail versus Armel. So far, I think Sumail's been a bit favored, but I think Dusa wins this matchup pretty handily. It just comes down to...
Well, she's 6-1 to the 2-1 right now, but Sumail's got an entire creep wave to farm.
Yeah. It's tough to juke Snake as the Alchemist, and in addition, Armel. I love the build, actually, just starting with 3 slippers, just maximum auto-attack damage. Alk has absolutely 0 offensive threat. You're just trying to outlast it, so it makes sense to optimize your last hit damage.
Do you like this early harassment into Arteezy? He seems like one of these heroes, like the Juggernaut's just gonna, like if he needs to, he can even pop Healing Ward and get some life back that way and work with Fly. Like, do you want to add this much level of pressure from Cuckoo and Tims?
You don't really have any other options, unfortunately. You can't just ignore him. He hits so much harder than Batrider. Nearly a 30, or actually it's not as bad as I expected, 13, but either way.
Just try and zone him, right?
Yeah, like, you don't want him to be in the creep wave. It's also a ton of threat if you ever get too low. Just spin on top of you.
Sumail's already caught up with CS in the mid. It's already 9-3, 10, like 9 to 10-ish in the battles.
And he walks right over to an illusion rune.
Easy.
That will most likely be used to stack if I'm...
It won't last long enough. Yeah. It can on the 3-minute mark. Tims is already preparing his own stack to pull. Well, not his own stack. Fly was preparing the stack to pull.
Yeah, unfortunately, the mana drain does not function on illusions. So that snake goes wanting. Both heroes quite low in the mid lane, but I think that favors Sumail as the Deuce needs mana more in this lineup. Bottom, pretty even trade. More denies on the Raze, that's to be expected, but you aren't really going to be able to zone this Rasta Doom, even though both heroes were nerfed just a little bit. Still very strong. We saw him a lot more in the previous patch, but...
What do you actually think about the changes to the Doombringer, the way they've reworked Devour? Like, I think S4 actually played this hero when he was in Moscow, and he maxed up both Scorched Earth as well as Devour before even getting a single pointed Infernal Blade now.
Yeah, I like it, because it was just... The reason the skill was broken, and it's one of those ways that IceFrog balances that I love so much, is he recognizes what made the skill strong. You don't want to remove the ability of Doom to eat creeps, but the broken part was that you could just walk over to a hard camp at 1 minute and have a 150 damage nuke and 6 regen, and that's just too strong. So you take that away, but you can get it later.
I don't like this stack, which by the way that Fly prepared. Cuckoo ended up just farming majority of it. Fly's been so low on life. He's waiting to see. Like, he needs to be here for a shield. Like if Tims wants to stun Arteezy, that's fine. He'll shield him up, and then they'll just run at him. Sumail's doing his stuff in the jungle. 4 minutes in, he's actually trying to farm and stack at the same time. We'll see if the acid spray timing works for him.
Gets one.
Yeah, he gets one.
That's
still good efficiency. He's about to hit level 5 after he kills this creep.
Yep.
But it means he's totally abandoned mid lane to the Deucer. But do you really care? Like, you're going to get more money out of the jungle.
Yeah, and Shrine's going to get active as well. And to your point, Alk, one of the few heroes that can jungle this early and actually get more gold out of the woods simply because he needs number of creeps killed and doesn't really care about the bounty because of the passive.
Even his experience, he's up half. Like, yep, Fly's in trouble. He can mango and then, oh, that was a little too early. Going for the miscoil to try and deny himself, but Cuckoo puts on the flames.
Yep, Sumail going to grab a salve. He'll look to Shrine as soon as we hit that 5-minute mark, I'm sure. And as you said, Armel will continue to free farm, but to the panel's point, you know, T-Gov was saying, TNC are the ones that got to slow the pace of this game. They need a lot of time to come online. E.g., you hit this mid-game timing with like Manta Radiance, Jug probably with like a Drums Yasha, S4 with whatever he wants. You're very strong.
Oh god, bounty runes. This can't happen when you have an Alchemist on your team. Chris just beginning his own TP out. There'll be a 3-for-1 trade-off once again. And this is dangerous. I just want to watch that net worth closely. It's 3k for Sumail. This can build up. Double braces let him just tank through everything. And Cuckoo, he can't really do much about Arteezy farming now.
Yeah, not really much to do as a Bat Rider, unfortunately. He actually, all things considered, Cuckoo played an excellent Bat game in that game too against a Nyx Lifestealer. When you put it in perspective, that's usually impossible. And once again, he's laying against a hard counter.
You don't have the movement speed for that. Cuckoo knows it. He's using at least the spin to farm up the wave. So that's one upside from it.
Yeah.
But trying to be a little bit more aggressive now that Tims is in the mid. Feeling a little bit more space. The dire observables which have been planted, or both observables in mid planted defensively. Well, all right, Tim's going to find one of them. That's an easy regen.
Yep, and they're doing what most anti-Alk squads will do, which is try and ward up Sumail's woods a bit.
Good shackle. EG bring 3. S4 is the one to get the kill, and Fly moving off that top lane, feeling like Arteezy's okay to do what he wants up on top. Yep. But he's also kind of surrounded too.
It's true, but he's playing against Bat Nyx, and that's the problem when you early pick these heroes on TNC. Their 3-4-5 have absolutely nothing to work against the Jug throughout this early to mid-game phase. So Arteezy can play by himself because he's not threatened by either one of these two heroes up top. Razor, on the other hand, this is not where you want to be. You want to be dominating this Doom, not pressured.
They brought 3 to bottom lane. Both supports in answer to the aggressive tri-lane of EG. If they're going to get aggressive, Tims will be there for the stun. He lines up, gets the 2 of them in the Fatal Bonds. Connecting, Fly, Crit, S4 all together. The damage split is so high. Crit will end up falling down. Tims wants another stun. S4 will hit him with the Infernal Blade and try and get back to this tier 1 tower. And they're able to do so. This would be probably a very good time to Shrine if it wasn't already burnt.
Yeah, I like what Cuckoo's doing. He was trying to clear out some of the jungle along with the creep wave. He backlaned. This is what you do. Whenever you are against a core you can't threaten or lane against, just don't. Go kill the creeps far away from the Arteezy Jug. If he wants to chase you, go for it, and you're going to miss some creeps under tower.
And he can pull it. He can take away some males farming potential
And look,
as well.
and look at what Zumel's doing as well.
Yeah.
Just,
like,
yeah, anything you can do, I can do better. And it's actually true in this case because he gets the extra gold.
Yes, always great when you're using that and get your gun reference.
Definitely an EG favored start. Whenever you have an Alk free farming in comparison to the Medusa who's free farming, you're going to be happy because he's just getting more gold out of it. They're winning both of their side lanes. Arteezy Jug not pressured at all. And now Fly says, all right, well, nobody's going to be mid. I guess I'll take it.
Tim's just waiting for this stun. Doesn't really feel a good place to do it, however.
Yep.
Faked it out like 3-4 times.
Yeah, the concern with the TNC lineup right now is that none of their cores are like self-sufficient in the sense that you can't leave them alone. Whereas Doom and Jug, so difficult to take down, especially, as we've said, the lack of disable. None of the cores really look to rotate. Bat can't do anything to lasso, and he's getting omni-slashed, so...
Yeah, he is, and then into the spin. Arteezy looking for that solo kill on Cuckoo, and he'll claim it.
Yeah, effortlessly as well. He's closing in on the drum. Sumail, not the fastest Radiance we'll ever see, but still doing pretty okay. Treads double bracer, 2,500 gold, 8-9 minutes in.
Yeah, it's taking his time to get it. It's the fact he hasn't actually queued it up yet. Makes me just question if like obviously
He's
every
buying
Alchemist has
Radiance.
gone for Radiance. We're no armlet shenanigans.
Highly doubt it. But you never know.
It's only just because it's not in the quick buy. Maybe it's just something he's just not doing yet.
No. I'm just scared. I'm just scared, man. It's this Razor pick, Toby. I just feel like it's just not enough. It's just not powerful enough is my concern. Like, I don't see a way for Gabby to have game impact. And he's going to get gone on bottom.
It's the Infernal Blade. As Doom also being committed. Static Link was on cooldown. S4 wants to keep going. He's been bubbled up, so he's willing to dive onto the tower, but that's why Cuckoo arrives. Lasso is available. Can he pull S4 back? Is that even the target he wants? It will have to be. He got one sticky napalm, pulls him up, and Fly. He's there with the shield, he's there with the life, but he's also there with 3 sticky napalm charges on him, hitting with the Planter Field and the Fatal Bonds connected across the 3 of them.
That's a max link.
He can go for more, but now the damage he takes, remember, it's all being shared. They're going to hit so hard. A double kill for Gabby.
Yeah, man, that's just not a max link, Toby. That's max level. 182 damage stolen at the end of that. Great turnaround.
And that's a big time as well because it's the bounty runes as well. So they're able to claim them. It ends up being 3 going the way of TNC for the first time. And against an Alchemist, yeah, that is huge.
Considering he's got max Grievous Greed, that's a 3.5 times multiplier. Every rune you pick up is effectively 4 for Alk. Which is not feel good as Sumail. That would have been enough to potentially finish his Radiance even.
Yeah.
Now
and
we'll
he
go
does
back
have it in the quick buy now, so there's no question marks at all. Sumail looking to deny up the mid tower, won't happen. Armel able to outplay the double damaged Alchemist, so that's pretty good for him.
He's actually farming quite well on Armel, considering he's like nearly 2 levels ahead of the Sumail Alk. And in addition, he's got, I think, the right item built. He wants to be as slot efficient as possible because he needs to be as strong as possible. You're playing against Alk. You need to be go, go, go. So he goes triple Wraith, Yasha, Treads. Like, as much damage as possible, as much farming speed as possible, and now I'm going to look to see him try and take towers.
They trigger on the drum charge, but where's the stun? Not there in time. Right, quick TP away. This will still be the death of the tier 1 tower on bottom lane. Arteezy's dropped the healing ward, so everyone can just tank through this while Cuckoo, he's getting in Sumail's way. Sumail, how many can you get? He's going to pop the Chemical Rage. Firefly will wear off, and Fly has moved over as well. So Sumail will still get the big ones.
Yeah, but it's the right thinking from Cuckoo, though. There's, again, no real reason for him to be playing lanes right now. He's a level 6 bat. Not much you can do. He wants to farm, so farm in where it's most impactful. Sure, it's slowing your game down, but more importantly, you're taking gold out of Sumail's pocket.
He's lining up. He's got a double stun ready for Crit and Arteezy. Spin as well as Omni-Slash available. Mass Open Wands will hit the deck, but so will the Rock. A lot of damage to kill off Crit very quickly. And Arteezy, the amount of damage he just took physically, even with the spin, they just burn through him, and one last little mana burn gets the kill.
Really impressive play there from TNC. Great job. They get about as much out of an Invis rune as you can hope for. Mass TPing into the trees. EG, you know, caught off guard. They felt much safer. Obviously not. Now a level 13 Dusa.
Doom up on top. Gabby getting hit by the Infernal Blade as well. So want to slow him down. Sumail brings in the concoction. And this is a huge kill if they could just get the last hit. Yep, Semel gets more bonus money.
Yep.
And they can add some pressure towards the tier 1 tower.
And I gotta say, that's my concern with just Gabby, man. I don't know if he's gonna have that game impact. And it's much like whenever I watch Armel play the Razor. This is just not a hero I like watching TNC play. Their core players are so talented. Razor's like, I don't know how to explain. It's like an old player's hero, you know. When your bones get slow.
It's a liquid TC hero.
It's like you know, it's for the ancient ones, the 30 pluses. Your reflex is slow, and it's more about, all right, let me just stand in the right position and be tanky. It's not for the young superstars like Gabby, at least not in my eyes, but we'll see. It's a tough game for him thus far, however.
My God, Semel's money's going through the roof. He actually perfectly acid sprayed them where he stacked 2 camps at the same time while farming up all 3 of the camps, and now he gets a blink dagger.
I like this. I've been seeing a lot of Mantas first. In this game specifically, there's no real initiation for EG, and with the Radiance and the Blink, he can just go so hard.
Concoction flying forward. S4's nearby. He's got to hit the Infernal Blade to slow him down. But hey, Fly and Crit, both supports move over. Gabby, he's going to burn his own drum charges. If Crit can get this shackle, they have a chance, but he does not move fast enough.
Yep, concern for TNC is like right now, EG's online. They are ready to go. They've got the Blink, they've got the Radiance. They are going to not just farm, but look to find kills around the map. And the initiation potential for TNC is just not there. They've got Invis, they got the Vendetta to hunt with, and they've got Cuckoo with bots. That is about it. And that's a tough ask if you are pressured this hard to find kills.
It still feels so hard for them to actually get these kills too, because if you initiate and Doom is back up again, like Doom is always that. Like it's that phrase, like you delete a hero when you doom them. How do you win this when you're 4v5? This was a good start. Going up to Crit, breaking him a double stun, but Fly, he just breaks free. Semel Concoction the blink it. He'll only get 1 stun over on the Warlock. No rock. Fatal Bonds are still connecting them together. They've got to be careful. Arteezy drops the healing ward. They do not manage to deny it, so EG begin their regeneration. As Cuckoo goes for a different fight over towards S4, but the Dire Observer ward sees all of this coming. A good defensive ward from EG protecting their own jungle.
And if the script has flipped a bit, EG, they're the ones who want to hard initiate, find a kill, and then kite back, kite back. You don't want to tank a huge link as you engage into a fight. You don't want to get caught by a huge rock with Fatal Bonds up either.
S4 feels like he's baiting them.
What?
There's a battle in mid. That's a lot of damage Arteezy is taking. And the lasso, well, they caught the Alchemist being pulled in with the static link. Semel, he wants the bounty runes, and maybe he can even get the kill. Damage. Concoction flies forward. It connects into the Warlock, but that allows Gabby to survive. They still haven't picked up the second rune just yet, but Semel's Radiance Burn is getting the first kill. And they got both the bounties on bottom, so it's still a 2-2 trade-off on that front.
You'll take that if you're EG. All of a sudden, a 5K gold lead. And credit to Armel. He is so farmed. He's played one of the most efficient Deuce games I have ever seen. 191 CS, 1530 into the game. He's doing fantastic. It's just, will it be enough? Look at the rest of his team. And the problem is that when you have this, you know, where you're running 1-4 pretty much, but there's an Alchemist that's just getting more gold and can use that gold to create more high-impact items in the sense that Medusa, he doesn't have any offensive capabilities in the sense that, sure, he'll do damage, but he can't go find heroes and make them take that damage, whereas Semel, you just channel stun, blink forwards, any support you catch, they're going to go down.
My God, this is... I'm just wondering how long this is going to go on. TNC is going to go for a while. He just bought a Hand of Midas 16 minutes in on this next assassin. He's trying to find his way in, probably an Aghanim Scepter or something larger that's able to cause some problems for EG.
Yeah, they continue to grow their lead, but it's mostly on that Alchemist. Concern I have is that S4, he's just going straight. He's going to play that Doom with the Blink Stomp build. I think that's perfect here.
Play him like a Centaur.
Yep, just find more initiation tools, abuse TNC's lack of playmaking ability, and if they can just get on top of the Warlock of EU, that's going to be enough for them to win a fight. The Fatal Bonds rock, that's what TNC needs to go right if they're going to win a big engagement soon.
And Semel wants to walk up that hill, but it's a little dangerous to do so. So he's sending the courier down south. The Manta Star will be completed, and this is very difficult now for TNC to initiate. Semel, he's going to initiate himself. Blinks forward, gets the concoction off. You'll have a lasso on bottom lane at the same time, so you'll say goodbye to Arteezy. Spin won't protect him. The Rock and Fatal Bonds over on 4. They've already got the kill onto Armel. Remember, he was the biggest thing of TNC. And S4 once more. Concoction again. Semel, he can't blink forward because the damage that S4's taking is putting his blink dagger on cooldown, but he'll still get the double kill. They leave it on purpose so they can move over towards Cuckoo. It was a little too fast, however, but these drum charges...
Yeah, you can see it's just
They're
so
running
easy.
out.
It's so much easier for EG to play the game right now because they have the tools to not just win fights, but find kills. I mean, you have both of those available options. It's just game plays itself. They smoke, they see Dusa, they kill Dusa. Now they rinse, repeat, farm a bit. Look to make the next play soon.
Here we go. Blink, concoction, Cuckoo stunned up with the acid spray on top of him. No space to really maneuver. Samal will run through the fire and the flames. And Cuckoo, well, he can push him back, but his Firefly wore off. Samal, 3 kills in the span of a minute. 2 in the mid, 1 up on top.
That's just too easy for him, honestly. It's going to continue to happen. I don't really see where the game turns for TNC, and this was my concern for them in the draft. If you're not going to pick a hero like Drow, which would just increase the power level of your lineup so that you perhaps be able to take fights right now, that Razor pick has got to be something that changes the team fights. And
caught within 3. Another concoction. The Omnisite is out as well. They're trying to back up. They got at least a little bit of a slow, but EG is fine with that. They'll stand here, continuously burning down the Dusa, who was doomed up so early on. TNC are in full retreat while Samel's in full aggressive mode. He blinks forward with the stun, keeping Gabby in position, and another stun. Death 4 against Tims.
Dude,
they really just want to chain kill after kill, EG.
You can't play Dota against this right now as TNC. You don't have anything to stop them.
They're picking Roche.
You got a Midas on Tims, Drums Hood on Gabby, Cuckoo with bots, Armel, Manta. You know what's missing from all these itemizations? There's no offensive power. There's no items that help the team. And EG, they've got these beefy frontliners, tons of sustain, the ability to cleanse.
Samel's getting bigger as well. Like, this really is, like, with the exception of the Blink Daggers, the old school Arc, having Manta, having Radiance, having... it's just a little too easy.
Hang on.
Oh, Blink Lasso.
No, not the cliff.
Maybe not so easy. Yeah, it's fine. He can walk off this cliff. The stun follow-up. He's getting the concoction off. He's actually going to stun himself. He can't get it off in time. No, he can. It's stunned over on the Razor. A lot of damage to on. Samal wants to walk away. The Feather Bonds connect them up. Arteezy. The damage spilled out. Tims is so low, but he's still alive. The Planter Field flies forward. They're regenning up EG, and they're resetting. They still got Roshan. The Aegis went into the hands of Arteezy and still remains there.
Yeah, you're totally fine with that. If you're EG, you're going to control both bottom bounty runes. Arctor spin TPs out the mid-wave to try and contest this top bounty. He's got to be careful. There's no lasso. Don't think Cuckoo can look to contest this.
No spin, flame break, position change. Ah, Cuckoo got it.
Nice. There will be enough gold for Sumel's Octarine core.
That's
Very
it.
fast timing. It's like barely 20 minutes. He finishes the Radiance at like 12, and then you blink, and suddenly he's got 3 huge items finished to go along with it. In TNC, like you need a fight win. You need EG to overextend, have a big Golem Fatal Bond combo with the Deuce ult on top, find a kill specifically on Sumel, because remember, comeback, gold, net worth differential based on the individual heroes. You know what I'm going with this.
The bigger the net worth, and he's going at 1,000 gold per minute. We see it up there, like he's already cracked the 20K mark. But they still need to bring him down through Octarine. They need to get the initiation through Manta and Samel. He was already crazy enough with Queen of Pain Blink, which requires you to actually turn.
Yep.
His Blink Dagger, however, does not have this kind of restriction.
It's so much harder because of the cleanse mechanic behind the Alk. So it's not as if you can even reliably 100 to 0 him, because he's always available to just interrupt the stun train.
Crep was a little too slow to reach that, even with Ether Lens range.
Octarine finished. Fly shows up. He's got 2 wards. They circle the area. They've got a smoke ready.
Like,
it's
hey guys,
simple Dota2.
Let's just push top, right?
Hit a timing, make moves. Manta finished on Artor. You actually can't ask for a better timing on the side of EG. I'd expect them to either A, walk down a lane as 5, or B, make some sort of smoke maneuver. You just got to be careful walking up a high ground, getting into a choke point. Notably that Warlock upheaval. I know he's only got 2 points, but that's the only non-cleansable disable on the side of TNC. That big AoE slow.
Look at him trying to already put down Observer wards. Try to put it in a slightly different position as well, where like both your normal sentries won't catch him. But it looks like EG also doesn't care. It's like, okay, you want to see us coming? Fine. Fine. We're going to reveal our strategy to you. We're coming as 5 through the top lane. What are you going to do about it? Jump in. Cuckoo. Too far forward. Instantly Concoction stunned up. The bolt will come down, but they've already found the kill on the Batrider. Buyback is available. He never lassoed. He never did anything else. But with a rock down, a double stun, hitting Nyx, hitting Armel. Semifinal's just regenerating through all of this. And remember, healing ward, EG sustain is ridiculous.
Yeah. Exactly. It's the Fatal Bonds aren't nearly as much of a threat. And you saw Fly immediately removed it off of himself. So Arteezy spun, and now they're going to juke the link as Sumail goes in.
He's jumping in, he's looking for the back line, he's looking for the wall lock, but S4 gets a double stun of his own. Tims will return one into S4. He doesn't have the movement speed, and they're going to keep the Doom in position in front of the tier 3 towers. They actually want to go for more. Cuckoo was dragging S4 back to the rest of his team. Sumail can blink up, the Flame Break will hit the rest of them. A sticky napalm Sumail, alright, time to turn and fight, maybe. Mass Serpent wards it down, they have the physical damage. Stone Gaze from Armel, they have to turn. The concoction, no, he's going to get kited. He's just sitting under the Mass Serpent wards, but they can't find the kills just yet. They're looking towards crit, but Sumail is still so damn big with the radiance. They can't even attack properly. The Fatal Bonds will connect everybody up. So now the damage between EG, they've got to be careful. It's so much damage. Armel, can he do any more? No, he's just trying to run away, but you can't run away from the spin. Maybe Cuckoo can do it with the Firefly on top. EG still ticking down, but Sumail is too big. He'll finally turn over and stun up Cuckoo, even though he's losing the rest of his team. The Radiance Burn is not killing the Bat Rider. Gabby is on the run from Arteezy. He'll kill off the healing ward. Arteezy needs the movement speed. He's got it with the phase boots. But Gabby, damn, it's still a Razor. Arteezy chose wrong and he needed 2 hits to get that, and he won't get any hits.
What a fight. TNC, they felt pressure, and you know why. They understand the spot they're in. EG, they're real strong, and for the next 5 minutes or so, they're just going to keep getting stronger. They felt like they smelled a bit of blood in the water. They got the Doom kill without that big ultimate being used by S4, and you feel like you've got to chase for more.
Yeah.
Just not quite enough to close. Again, even though his score isn't that bad considering his start, I just don't feel the impact of Gabby's Razor, especially once the link gets kited out.
So we'll have another look at just this top fight. When EG decides to turn, then the Fatal Bonds connects, and you're like, oh, maybe you got a chance.
And you see, like,
with the Firefly on him, but ugh.
Gabby walks straight in, and he does survive, but Sumail's just so beefy right now.
Sumail also got a little greedy. He went for both. They went for both the targets. They wanted Gabby to go down, and they wanted to have a chance at Cuckoo. So they ended up splitting their course, where they could have just instantly killed the Razor and moved in. But hey, you push for it.
You can have a Shiva's complete on Sumail real soon, and then it's time to rock and roll. And I would say, you know, that's where an EG really needs to look to win the game. But there's so many great Ags targets you can give them away to.
You just give it to Fly so he can run in?
Sure. I actually think the first one you give it to is S4, because with Ags Doom, you can actually just Doom the Dusa, and you remove Split Shot. It's pretty cool. It's
But right now, she's not even doing enough damage even with Split Shot. You may not even care.
Yeah, you've got the Scotty up now on Armel, but again, as you said, it's just damage issues. And if the Fatal Bonds weren't so easy for EG to deal with, I wouldn't be so concerned. But right now, it just feels like the sustain combined with Sumail's massive impact in these fights is going to be more than enough for the NA side to make that upper bracket final.
Look at Tim's trying to hold back the wave. He's creep skipping, but EG won't lose their wave. Like, or at least they shouldn't lose the wave. In fact, they're TPing over. They really want to try and find this kill. And Sumail, he'll get the vision and the concoction. One concoction just takes away 2/3 of his life.
Not just that, it removes the Nyx's ability to perhaps finish that Aghanims that he's going for. Midas, Brown Boots straight into the rush. He's got the point booster, but he's 500 gold away from it completed.
He cannot afford to buy back here. He needs to wait. He needs to wait this out, and EG
needs
can
that
capitalize.
item to keep EG off the high ground. That's the whole concept TNC was going for. Like, you can't break our base, then we'll have the time.
Sumail doesn't feel it.
Doesn't matter.
Stuns himself and just instantly shields.
Let's do it again.
Right, let's just jump once more. Mass Serpent wards go down. The Fatal Bonds will connect them. Rock is available. He's waiting it out. As Sumail, they're tanking through so much. The spin, Arteezy, you knew they were going to just like get rid of it in just a second. Sumail still being flame breaked. He turns around for another concoction, turns his attention over towards Cuckoo. Do not allow him to move forward and get an easy lasso, even leaving the illusions. Now the Rock will finally drop.
Yeah,
but EG just retreat. The Rax is going to go down to the Mass Serpent Wards. They're not killing them off in time. 31 HP. The Rax is starting to regenerate. It stayed alive.
Yeah, they back off because Sumail's ult had faded. They recognize. You can see, it's like the Alks that tickle me Elmo, and you can play with them as much as you want, Mr. Armel, but you're not actually threatening him, especially if Fly is unobstructed in the backline. It's just, hey, you stun yourself, I'll shield it off, I'll spam heals. Sumail has no intention of going down. He'll have that BKB finished up soon. I think that might be the item they look to end game on, but this does mean there will be a Nyx Ags to contend with if EG look to go high ground anytime soon. Roche can respawn in 15 to 3 minutes 15, and if I'm TNC, I might need to force a fight around that pit. Unless you really trust your high ground, right? Like, they do have Medusa.
Yeah. How much do you want to trust your high ground when you're going up against an Aegis as well as Cheese? Like, that seems like an impossible task. But how do you initiate in? You got Batrider who will give you the vision, but it isn't a jump. Like, it's rock, but Chaotic Offering's down for 100 seconds.
Look at the itemization coming out from EG. There's the BKB on their Doom, the blink on the Rasta.
They won't care about Warlock.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the concern. AU, he had such a crazy high impact in those AA games, but with no Fatal Bonds really playing a part, he's a walking heal bot, and praying the upheaval will matter.
It's like, hey, can you burn off the mana as they come up one by one? So maybe there's... Is that the approach? It's like, well, all right.
And I like the itemization from Artori as well. Just Manta into Scotty, you know, just increasing the survivability. They know what they're abusing. They don't have damage problems. They just need to make sure that TNC doesn't find pickoffs with the lasso or with the timely Nick stun. Roshan spawning in 1 minute 30. EG
they're ready to go.
Around the pit.
Concoction preparing. They're looking for the stun over towards Armel. Samel does put himself inside of a tree line and the stun. Nyx Assassin doing it from up on the hillside. The Doom is out and it's over on the Medusa. Sheik is not involved in this fight with the Omni Slash. They burn through the shield so quickly. Goodbye, Armel. Gabby does at least deal a decent chunk of damage in the upheaval, making it difficult for EG to get back out of here. The Mass Serpent was dropped down. They need more damage. Samel's Concoction helping with this, but now he's running out of mana. He's got nothing more to really give, and Gabby's pumping the damage into the supports. Finally, he kills Crit. Flyers uses borrowed time, so he can't really stick too close to front lines, but he needs to. Samael, he doesn't have his ultimate anymore. He blinks away. He actually doesn't even get hit with that, allowing the blink to work, and they just walk away.
That was about as good a fight. You're in a choke point. The upheaval's full channel on 4. The Dusa buys back, and there's nothing. Lasso on cooldown. Tims was forced off of his position by Arteezy, and there's literally no stuns left. Gabby, because of his poor game, wasn't able to itemize for an Atos, and the lack of catch, you can really feel it on the side of TNC. They just don't have any way to contain EG.
All right, who's up? Who's up? First, please, enter the battle. The Aghanim Scepter is there for Samael, but let's watch this fight once more before we see who gets the Aghanim.
It's so simple. It's just pretty much, we have a Doom and a Jug that are BKB, or spinning BKB. And the whole side of TNC can do nothing but watch as their hard carry goes down. And as he buys back, like, look at this. The EG's doing the slow walk. It's a slow motion retreat. And Sumel's, like, he's not even taking damage.
My God.
What do you do? How are you going to win this game, TNC? I think you might even need to just buy a Rapier on the Dusa, but...
Juggernaut got the Aghanims upgrade, by the way.
Really?
So, welcome to the Scepter duration for Omni Slash, 4.5 seconds.
You know, I like that because they're just going for hero deletion, right? It's obvious that TNC can't keep EG in a fight they don't want, so just pop all your spells, walk forwards, find kills, and if there's buybacks, walk away.
It also feels fun too, because you jump in, you spin, then you go with the ulti, and it's like a half a second difference between when you can go into a spin again, so you're like immune for the majority of the initial engagement. But Samael also gets his bonus right from this.
How so?
Unless I'm wrong. Oh, no, that's the other. No, ignore. Ignore. I'm thinking of something else.
I know where you're going with this.
Yeah.
And they look to push mid. Remember, EG can kill the Shrines if they do desire. The tier 3 bot has gone down. TNC looking to get aggressive here, but it's just a tough ask. They've got 2 smokes available, all spells ready. I just question, where is the damage? The Razor, you can get a full link off now thanks to that new BKB. But it's got to be on a critical target. You need to, I think, drain Sumail. Yeah, you got to drain Sumail or Arteezy and engage in a long fight, and more importantly, ensure EG is in that long fight.
Have we got round 2 already?
Yes, we do.
It's just, all right, everyone.
Gather round. I have gifts for you, children.
And it's Doom. Doom will claim this one.
Yep, it's, I mean, you Doom the Deucer.
Yep.
Good luck. Yeah, good luck. Have fun.
This feels a little harsh. I want to try and find a bright side for TNC. Like this is one of these positions where like you're starting to analyze the games. Like, you know what? EG look good. EG look good. EG look good. What has TNC got? Like,
they've got massive high ground turnaround potential. They need to try and bait BKBs, get a huge drain off, and have EG stand in a choke point upheaval without recognizing their their scenario.
Oh, Tim's,
Oh,
he's
no.
hexed up. He came in range of the sentry ward. He thought he was fine inside the Vendetta while Samel jumps into the backlines over on Gabby. The stun is good. The rock will drop, and they're holding him in position. But S4 and Arteezy, they're really close inside the hole. But then you've got the Omni Slash. It's just lasting forever in the backlines, but he doesn't get a single kill. Maybe the melee rest can die, but EG, they're thinking about the retreat. The Mass Serpent Wards will kill off the racks, but EG, yeah, you said it again. The rock is a great body block. Samel is down on 0 mana. But EG walk out with all 5. They had like 3 heroes on top of the stone gaze, and they still couldn't find it.
They literally threw everything and the kitchen sink at him, and EG just wander off into the woods after securing the racks. It's just, you know, I'm trying to find the hope for TNC, but the fact of the matter is that right now, they do not deal damage, and they need more items. They need to extend this game.
But you got a Shiva's guard being built in for Gabby. Like, I know he's going to be able to sustain, but does a butterfly do it for Medusa? Is this enough?
It's a start. It gets him a little closer, but realistically, he's going to need really 2 more items before he's able to go toe-to-toe with Sumail.
And EG can just walk into Roshan and take it if they wanted to. Like, nothing stops us from doing this either.
There's no Golem available. Do we have another Ags yet for anybody?
Not yet. But give it time.
Yeah.
TNC, this time on the high ground. Samel plays himself very aggressively up. He just doesn't care. He doesn't even need a BKB for this engagement. Tim's keeping the backlines.
Well, not the real jug.
Actually, nothing. Yeah, he thought it was. They trigger the BKB. It was his 9-second BKB that goes down the drain. Oh, boy, 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 boy.
And Roche now an objective. You can see, like, Sumail did that blindly, FYI. Just going forwards, full Rambo, and just like, you know, actually, it looks a little dicey. Let's get out of here, folks. And Artur's going to move towards top, trying to finish off the Mjolnir, just 1,000 gold away.
By the way,
S4's got his BKB now with a plate mail on top.
That Aghanim said it, because there's not enough money in Sumail right now. Like, was it on the courier that died?
It might have been.
I think the third Aghanims may have actually been on the dead courier. Like, apologize, it's the end of the night. Didn't actually notice it before, but okay. I heard from our wonderful observer that we do not think so.
I think just stop farming for a bit. He'll have one soon. It's fine.
If we're in the old version, we could actually click that dead courier. But please,
don't worry. He's got another. Oh, this is great. It's such a cool. You always say this when you're casting, like, oh, guys, there's a lot of good Ags heroes on this team. They will scale, but you very rarely see it like this.
Alchemist would give it to them all. Yeah, it would be great.
Yeah. I think you give this one to the Abaddon, but I have a feeling Crit's going to ask for it. You get it in the priority of your hero's role in the team. Captains are last. Fly, wait your turn.
That's harsh. You think like his Aghanim's upgrade is one of the best if you're high ground.
To be fair,
you saw that clip right with the ES Echo Slam. It's just like preemptive borrowed time and just healed every bit of damage that came out after. That was glorious.
Indeed. It's just that right now I think EG are trying to focus more on area control. Thus I feel Crit is going to be the lucky winner. Bear in mind, you know, this whenever you're Dire, it's ideal to take this bottom racks because it forces heroes to go as far away from the Roche pit as possible. EG are very happy with their status in this game. TNC, though, every moment that goes by, their win percentage increases. You know, once you give away more, like the Ags...
Wait, there's actually a 7% win probability against this?
Yeah, look, TNC are 1 fight away from equalizing their position and another fight after that from winning the game. Straight up, they really just need 2.
If they kill the Alchemist. Like,
correct.
They still have to kill a 31,000 net worth. He's going at like 1,100 like GPM.
Yeah, and they did give the Ags...
Crit.
Yep. He has level 18 as well. Now the Serpent Wards have split shot. They are going to be doing so much damage, but here comes the fight.
Yep. They get the initial stun. Tim's is on the front lines. They're trying to kill up the Juggernaut. The Rock, as well as the Fatal Bonds. They dispel him pretty quickly. S4 forced to run away, but he already got the Doom off over on the Stone-Gazing Deucer. But Sumail, he's just sitting on top of Cuckoo, working with Crit. You will end up losing Fly, but hey, he's the captain. He was meant to die anyway. They go after Gabby. Here comes Concoction. No BKB charge left anymore. He's trying to run back out, but the Omni Slash is up. Good luck, Gabby. Armel's like, please, let me take it for you, but it won't take anymore. Moving in. Arteezy keeps the pressure on over towards Warlock. A triple kill for the Juggernaut. And they're looking for a 4th one, and they'll get it. Tims will die to Semail, and this should be a push for the GG or a push for three buybacks, either one.
Yep, creeps in the base. A decent initiation for TNC, but as you can see, just the damage problems, man. The Doom went out on the Dusa, no split shot. Armel's forced to walk all the way back to base. He's not even in that fight. I mean, EG, their chasing power is just far too much. There's a 6.75 second cooldown on the unstable concoction, and Sumail just keeps spamming it. Whoever he wants to target, they're going to go down. Roshan available, the Courier scouting it out.
Are they ever going to change this position? The Courier, oh wait, I think the Courier just flew on top of the other Courier. Wait, Bonify. They're doing Roshan, everyone. Courier.
This is the real battle.
Okay, who wins, Turtle or Bug?
Turns out no one. Well, we win.
Remember when the Couriers used to be able to have Dagons on them?
Yes.
And they can actually...
Oh, stop reminding me.
And they
Good
could
Lord.
find kills. It was great. No other things to bring back.
Mechanics, I don't miss for 200, Alex. Roshan will go down. Aegis picked up on Arteezy. Sumail moving forwards. MKB on the Medusa, but he's in so much trouble.
Here's a jump. Concoction, Hex. They actually go for the stun over on Cuckoo. He's the one with the extra control, but Crit keeps him shackled up. It's a nice three-man stun from Tims. You know he's good at it, but really, at this point, it's like watching a black hole with no follow-up damage, because there is no damage. EG just back up, and they get the Radiant Courier. Well...
At least it got the MKB to the Deuces, so Armel's damage will be there.
Yeah.
And you know what the real timing for TNC is now?
60 minutes?
No. The next item on Dusa, which he's full amount of May, but it's going to be a Rapier. And if they can get a Rapier, they might, maybe be okay. But realistically, EG, you've already got an Ags on all but Fly. So in that sense, you know, at least Sumail won't scale anymore, right? He's up. He is capped out. He's not got. His boots are in backpack. He could probably buy one more item in Abyssal, an AC maybe.
He's only doing it so he can have the Arcane and the Never-Ending Chemical Rage. That's the goal. In the trees, the Dire Observe Ward saw them move in. Tims is trying to wait. Cuckoo takes the air. Sumail ready for the concoction, looking for the blink in and the Omni Slash. They just want Tims dead. The lasso, it does drag back Crit, however, but he got all of his abilities really up before then, and he'll buy back Gabby, getting some good damage deal. And thanks to the Stone Gaze, Fly and Sumail can't walk out this one. Sumail will get the concoction sign up, but Gabby needs to bring down the raid boss. He needs to kill Sumail, and he'll have the damage. No! The cheese is there! Sumail gets the life, but Gabby still got the damage concoction. He needs to hit. Sumail's walking it off, just like a stitch, but finally is popped, brought back down again. Crit has returned. He'll hold Gabby in position so Arteezy can finish the job. A double kill for him. S4 found EU. They'll buy back. Even with the big kills, it's still nowhere near enough to hold out EG when Sumail's got the money to buy back as well.
They just... Everything was necessary, and by the time Sumail goes down, he's immediately buying back, and the rest of TNC, they've all fallen because, alas, they're still allies for this Alchemist.
Where is he? You going? Where is he off to? I don't. Is he meant to buy things? He's going for the bounty runes. Are they actually just short of buyback? It is on the Dusa. Dusa needs a little bit more money.
He had to buy the MKB, otherwise they wouldn't even have the damage to kill Sumail. Unfortunately, he won't have buyback, and we'll probably have to watch his base die, but you know, they gave it their all, but EG just with an outdraft.
Like, Razor is TP'd out to go and get the bounty runes from bottom, trying to find that last bit of money to get the Dusa back alive. 125, 14 gold now, thanks to the 4 bounties. So they're going to try and buy time. TNC, at least they're fighting to the very bitter end. There is buyback in 2, 1, 0. Deuce is back alive again. S4 has already treated the BKB. Chris dying quickly. Arteezy on the retreat back out again. Shadow Shaman, he will pop down for almost 2 minutes, and that's a big leash. They actually drag the Juggernaut back in. S4 and Fly wondering if they can really help, but they both come back in again. But Arteezy slowed down. I don't think he's got an escape, but he has the Aegis Immortal, so at least he'll have a second life. They fairly bond him together. Yule's up the Abaddon. Get that bloody thing out of here. Fly, he has to walk away, and now they go for Arteezy. Spin TP. There's not anywhere near enough damage, but that's why Cuckoo, he finds Fly. He jumps over. He is looking for anything he can get, and he'll get it on the Abaddon. No borrowed time available, so Fly will end up dying here with the rotation over from Gabby. They get the kill, but Home is most definitely in trouble.
Yeah, I like that Sumail recognized, I have no buyback, guys. You have fun. Maybe you're able to turn it around, but he's like, nah, I'm gone. Sayonara, folks.
I still love it from TNC. This is why you fight to the very end.
Hey,
you've got to strat right. You've got to get all the bounty runes.
It's a start. And to your point, it did save them the game. I was, I didn't think it would mean that much, but Gabby actually does collect the goal to get his Deuce back into it.
When you're TPing a Razor away from the defense in order to get them.
Maybe you should have picked a different hero.
Yeah, hey, let's not go into that.
Yeah, I know. It's just a tough game. EG, they've been in control of the win conditions from 3 minutes onwards. It felt like all Sumail had to do was farm against Armel, and eventually they'd be in a position where you have that ability to turn your gold advantage into kills, into objectives, and into wins. Where TNC, you have no playmakers. You don't have catch. You need reach in this game if you want to win it, because otherwise, I mean, Crit. Sure, he's got 7 deaths, but in these fights, he has like free games. He's almost always getting off hexes.
What is Cuckoo looking for? He's gonna find Juggernaut near here. He's smoked up. Okay, he's finding farm. That's what he's finding. He's finding farm. Hey, Arteezy, wait, where did my camp go? Another Ragged Interceptor. Finally, the last one will arrive, and it's on the Abaddon. Yep.
About time, Fly says. 43 minutes, I believe.
A support is a real hero too.
Mm-hmm. It's really cool. But you got a refresher soon on Crit. Looking around at all the items these guys have picked up, I want to reiterate that I still think TNC's played a great series. Do expect EG will probably take this game, but the itemization on both teams is very impressive. I like that both sides have a Vlad's. I like that S4 has been playing since 20-25 minutes with this Wolf Creep, just giving 30% damage to his whole team.
Mm-hmm. God, if he actually has that refresher orb as well, double Doom, double
yeah,
BKB.
Double Ags Doom, double BKB Shivas, yep.
Rough to say the least.
But the bright side, TNC. Sumail can't give away any more Aghanims. He can use one for himself for the stats,
and
technically.
That'll give him the bonus, the spell lamp. Like, go for it.
We watch this game.
Like a 10. I know where I need to be.
I shall defend the base.
You know, this is what do we call it? We call it the Night Watchman. Like I have to stand at the front and just hold everybody back.
Honestly, if this was the alternate ending to the Battle of Winterfell, I actually think it'd still have better writing. I don't care who wins.
Hey, I believe in this strategy more than I believe in those ones. Hey, are we gonna fire up? No. We can't go too.
We're just hanging out.
Yeah.
Armel, he's got our Satanic queued up. I think he'll need to change that to Rapier. EG, they're 1 game away from the upper bracket. They don't want to make any crazy mistakes.
I think he's just looking for the sustain though. Like in a way, I can kind of believe.
I don't know, man.
In that.
I don't think you can defend your base is the problem without the Rapier. Just simply because you won't have the damage to deal with the EG buybacks. Because you need to kill them twice, right?
The Courier's
Satanic's
making the run.
cool, but...
The Courier's making the run. It needs to grab the Reaver without dying as, hello, Batrider looking for the bounty runes, and Cuckoo will be able to pick up the 45. 1 of them.
Living life on the edge.
Yep. All right, come on, Courier. Reaver, and get back. Not over the creep wave. Don't go over the creep wave. Don't go over the creep...
Where'd it go?
Death. He's gonna say hi to Hades.
Oh no.
And you got
look
double.
at the, oh no!
Oh, we're going from bad to worse to disastrous. There's no Satanic. There's double Mass Server wants to finish the game. There's double Aghanims Doom. Oh god, not like this. Please, not like this. Here comes Sumail. He's ready.
EG are just toying with their food at this point. They have so many spells to cast. Crit can just blink in, drop double wards. If they just need to get the Doom on Deuce, so that's what S4 is waiting for. They're going to smoke to do just that as all 3 creep waves enter the base.
It's like they're trying to bait with Arteezy. There's the jump in. Cuckoo goes in deep. The rock's already been dropped down. Can they actually hold him in position? Cuckoo will die. He's just baiting in abilities. There's your Doom already going to work as well. S4, they're trying to cut him up. Man, EG, they're way too strong. Deuce can't do jack. She's just doomed up, and there's an entire creep wave that's just pushing her. She can't even split shot it down. They'll stun her up. It's a great stun from Tims. I give him that, but I give EG the win. 2-1, they finally end it, and they get that winner's bracket final position. EG guaranteed at least 3rd position.
Oh, I wouldn't have it any other way, Toby. You can see the smiles on their face. This is a position they're not in often. Top 3 guaranteed for Evil Geniuses.
Man, we're pissed off, Fred. We took his thunder. He totally was waiting for that one, but you know what? You got to pounce early for an EG3.
And yeah, well played by both sides. I repeat this, EG, I think, definitely stepped up their performance. I think that first game, they got a little surprised. Sumail said himself during the interview, like, yeah, we didn't really prepare. We're just here to play some Dota. It showed, but definitely sharpened things up. TNC, a good series. Unfortunately, I feel like the quality of their drafts actually deteriorated as the series went on. Again, just no Razors, all right? Teams like Liquid, NIP, they love the Razors, the Vipers, the Necros. These just the old people heroes.
It just felt like where they got pushed into, though. Like, they were looking at it, and then EG pick Alchemist, and you're like, oh god!
Oops!
Like that's where's that good timings?
It's just easier for EG to play, and when you give a team that's this talented, that easy of a script to read, anybody can do with the wig. Well, not really. Because the Wiggles are very talented, but you can. It doesn't matter. Let's throw it. I'm tired.
Thank you very much. Yes, Game 3 ends with EG headed to the top 3. Once again, we'll see whether they can go any further than that third place, of course, after a terrific victory over TNC. T-Governor and Pyrian Flax alongside me to break down game number 3 and also talk to basically wrap up the day as well. Pyrian, that's a strong end for the day for EG, and they bounced back in many ways, losing 3 games in a row today. Just hadn't lost any before today, and then getting 2 in a row.
Yeah, they sort of woke up in that series, I thought. You know what was interesting? The AA made it through twice, right, in that series, and then they banned it in that series. The final game they banned AA. Now, normally, if someone bans AA, you think, oh, they could be picking out here. But I feel like it was just, no, they're banning it because we played it twice, and it was obviously a problem for them. That's why.
Yeah,
and
it's a smart pick.
Bam, out comes out, and crushes.
It was a good game from Semifinal. I do want to point out it was a good Medusa game too, though.
Yeah,
he literally played out of his skin the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, I think the Dusa was able to utilize the fact that the Alk wasn't even in the lane, just farm up. Again, the Alk v Dusa mid matchup will just be a trader farm. I think the key point was actually the Alk left the lane around about 2-3 minutes in to go farm the jungle because he knew he could just farm so much quicker. It then allowed space for the Abaddon to come mid, get some levels, and then because Arteezy was playing on Juggernaut, he can't get punished by the Nyx or Batrider. So then meant EG was capitalizing on the entire map, whilst the Dusa was farming mid, then going jungle, and again, Sumo was doing the same, but then it's an Alk, right? He's going to farm so much quicker. And again, the reason for the Alk pick is because the timings are so much online, so much earlier than that of the Dusa.
Also, being able to give Ags to people, it just empowers all these heroes that are otherwise...
For you.
Yeah, it's literally like, here, everybody have an Ags, so...
I am shocked, though, to be honest, that he gave away all the Ags, but never gave himself one.
Yeah, that was a bit weird.
I did think that, like, for Sumail, knowing that he's already given away, like, that much net worth, there's going to be a point where he's like, actually, do I want to give the Abaddon one? Let's give myself one. Let's scale a bit more.
He doesn't need an Ags.
Well, come on.
It's nice with the changes.
What core player doesn't want damage? Come on. Like, do you want some little miscoil? Which
he's playing the team game. He gets often charged with being too selfish.
Yeah.
And being too inconsiderate to his team. He's playing the team game.
And
now you're giving him crap for that.
I just want him to be selfish after 4 Ags. That's it, okay? The 5th, beautiful, but I just want him to have one because I just wanted to see how much damage he'd done. I don't care about if he's going to help win the game. I just want to see him blow up some people.
Memes aside, it is another guaranteed top 3.
Yes.
But they play a different team in the upper bracket final. They play PSG LGD this time round. And there isn't a Virtus Pro, there isn't a Secret, there isn't a Liquid to take them down.
But I think as well in this matchup, you can see from here, TNC in the first game, they got the draft that they wanted, right? And the difference between the top teams and those that want to break into that is during over a burst of 3, the better teams do adapt. And EG saw the first game was like, okay, we know what they're going to do. So the second game, they picked up this Disruptor, for example. They picked up the Darts and Nyx. They had the easier to execute draft. And game 3 happened again. PSG, they're not going to be so easy to outdraft in these situations. I'm not saying TNC was an easy one to outdraft, but I just feel EG was quicker at adapting. And I think PSG also will be quick at adapting. So it's going to be a much more interesting series in terms of draft alone.
It's also both teams from Group B, Ted, the 2 teams that finished top 2 in Group B. And PSG LGD is the only team that they dropped points to in the group stage. So it's going to be a tough upper bracket final.
A lot is set up, I think. There's stories there like Secret might come back and be resurgent on the main stage. You never know. That's what I like about the group stages is it does tell a story. But once you get to the main stage, I think it plays out very differently from the way you think. We see that at a ton of tournaments. It's very rarely the team that's top of the groups, oh, they crushed it.
Yeah.
They don't go on to do well. So anything can still happen, absolutely.
All right, well, we've heard from a number of the EG players over the last few days. Let's hear from Crit now, who's with Sheila.
Thanks, Paul. Crit, that series was mad to watch. I can't imagine what it was like to play. What made it so crazy? Like, what about TNC made this series so back and forth?
I mean, it's hard to say for us because we muted them their chat wheel. But I feel like you can still feel the fact that they're chat wheeling all the time. So I don't know if they were, but it feels like they're playing in the way that like symbolizes that. So they're definitely like a very good team. They got a lot of structure that they didn't have previously, and they're a hard team to play the map against, which is something that we usually feel like we're pretty good at. So they definitely improved a lot over the last couple of months. So yeah.
And in the middle of the series, I mean, the first game was already mad, and the second game, for some reason, even more crazy. Like, what changes did you try to make to get a better control over the game?
Well, we had a couple of things that we wanted to change in draft that I can't really talk about too much, but we felt like in the first game, we felt like they played the map really well. They had Wraith King and Darkshot to push out waves, which made it hard for us to play the game. And the other two games, we were emphasizing that a little bit more, so that was probably the biggest thing.
And for this series and for the last couple of days of games, how do you feel like Roshan has changed from before the patch? Because it felt like most of the fights, or rather a lot of the fights, were obviously about Roshan.
I think it's harder to do now, and it's like people are a little bit more scared to just commit to doing Rosh. For us, like in this series, we didn't really feel the refresher axe type of thing in any of the games, but it's definitely something you think about in some games. And also, like when you have Alchemist, like the whole like having heroes that have good axe is like pretty important. So we had Alch that game, but sometimes you need to get the Rosh for the axe. So yeah.
All right, and final question. Obviously, there's an MVP vote happening. Who would you say, if you are just basing it on this series, this best of 3, who in your team deserves the MVP?
I would probably say Sumil. I would like to say myself, but I think this was not like my best series, and it definitely wasn't some of my best heroes either. So I was kind of just trying to do what I could for the team. So I would say Sumil was the one who kind of pulled it back the most and tried, like, he gave the most in these games. So yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to me. It was a long series, so I'm going to let you go, and we are going to head back to the panel.
Yes, fantastic. Crit going through with EG to the upper bracket final where they'll play PSG LGD on the main stage, of course, in front of the live crowd here at the National Indoor Arena in Birmingham. Let's check in with the brackets and show you how that's panned out, because, of course, all of these teams now have made their way through. 8 teams in all. The top half of the bracket shows what we've just seen. EG going through 2-1 against TNC Predator, despite the fact that they lost the opening game. In the other game, it was the all-Chinese affair between Vici Gaming, of course, major winners this season, against the runners-up from TI last season, PSG LGD, who came through that one 2-0, although I'd have to tell you, it was a slugfest. Down in the lower bracket, none of these teams have played, of course, so far in the lower bracket. They're all waiting to do so in front of you tomorrow, with Team Liquid going head-to-head with Gambit Esports, and the big one, Team Secret versus OG, the winner of which will face off against TNC. Not an easy road through that lower bracket, gents.
No, not at all. I think all of these games are going to be really good, really close. I think, especially with the fact that most of the European teams, all the European teams
are down there or out.
Oh, down here. So I think, especially with their showing in the last major, I think it just means that this low bracket is even scarier, because sure, they're down here for now, but it means they're going to probably have a deep run, at least one of them. So
yeah, well, I was going to say only one of them.
No, yeah, well,
only one of them can go all the way.
Well, sure. Yes, you have technically logic to me there.
Maths, Robson.
But define deep though, because really, is the low bracket finals deep, or is it like just low bracket
round
round 3?
Deep.
Well, yeah, that's it. This is what we're on about, right? I think like top 4.
I think we're getting delirious the later it gets this evening.
I'm honestly
one final bit of business. Ted, MVP, has one risen to the top now for the whole of the 3 days?
Let me just say, Paul, we were not stealing from Crit there.
Right.
Okay, we agreed beforehand.
Okay.
We think Sumail MVP. It's written down on the little card.
You wrote it down.
In the circle.
So
Right,
I think he's. If you look, they went, 8-0? And I'm sure he was, I caught a couple of their games. He's been a factor in all of those games. He was a massive factor in that series, especially that final game. I think it's a fair shout to say
All
he's
right.
been the MVP of the group stage.
Well, let's find out what you've been voting for, because the votes have been coming in thick and fast, of course. The community votes voting for the Mercedes-Benz MVP of ESL One Birmingham. These are the three in no particular order right now. Arme's in there, Samael's in there, and his brother from EG is also in there, Arteezy, inside the top three. Although if we were voting for the best Cliff artist, he would be head and shoulders above everyone else after 2 Cliff appearances today. You can vote still, by the way. Head over to the link that will be shown on your screen just below me and make your vote count for the Mercedes-Benz MVP for ESL One Birmingham. And the vote will, of course, be open right up to the grand final on Sunday. But if you've got an early inkling as to who you think deserves it, head over there right now. If not, just bookmark the site and make sure you head back there over the next 3 days. Gents, let's just wrap up then. 3 days of fantastic Dota 2. Group stages are done. We've had a couple of games in the upper brackets, all nicely set up, I feel, for the crowd to come in tomorrow and enjoy some world-class fun Dota.
Well, this is where it really starts, right? Like the arena games, obviously the cold crowd last year, the atmosphere, you're expecting it again. And you've got a couple teams here that could start, like I said earlier, they could now be adopted as the home team.
Yep.
And we're going to know that tomorrow, once the crowd starts cheering, who they're going to pick. And so, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, Ted, looking forward to it?
I can't wait.
was great last year,
love it
wasn't
when
it?
when it gets in the crowd. And the games weren't even good last year.
No.
The games weren't even good. the games in the group stage already have been unbelievable.
But the crowd made the games good.
Exactly, the
Yeah.
crowd made it. So imagine hype crowd plus hype games.
Yeah.
It's going to be it's going to be amazing.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, gents. It's been another long day, but a great day. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for supporting all of the teams. But ESL One Birmingham, day number 3 has come to an end. Groups are done. It's all on the line now in the bracket stage as we come back tomorrow in front of the live crowd here in Birmingham. We'll see you then.